pulpit. I said fuck school, Greta Thunberg. I make money typing words till my thumbs hurt. Yeah, she look cool, but I don't love her. And when I'm fucking, only time them hoes come first. I make the laws like I'm Congress, my bitch she flawless. Guess what I smoke by the whole zip, that shit is potent. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. I make the laws like I'm Congress, my bitch she flawless. Guess what I smoke by the whole zip, you niggas know that it's potent. The rap game need Jay, yeah you know I ain't joking. Looking like I chose the Pope, you could tell that I'm smoking. Floating like a UFO, I get high when I'm toking. And don't act like you ain't know, I don't supply when I'm toting. Dressed like the CEO, I be fly when I'm showing. And if you looking for the one who make the laws, I'm the culprit. I make the laws like I'm Congress, my bitch she flawless. Guess what I smoke by the whole zip, that shit is potent. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. I make the laws like I'm Congress, my bitch she flawless. Guess what I smoke by the whole zip, that shit is potent. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah.
God save the United States and this honorable court.
I just can't convince myself to look. Why can't I be strong in the place where you read your books? I just can't rely on happenstance. Didn't say goodbye before you died, I should've took that chance. But you'll never leave me, no, my heart is bleeding. And I know this feeling's not fleeting. Your hugs were the best thing, just wrapped up in your strength. I'd give up to be there right now. I just want you back, we all want that. I just wish that you hadn't forgotten. I hate this disease, I hate human beings. We fall apart before we get broken. I just can't believe you're not here with me. We should be out back sitting underneath that willow tree. You could talk and I'd be listening. I didn't take the time to read your mind before you forgot me. Okay. But you'll never leave me, no, my heart is bleeding. And I know this feeling's not fleeting. Your hugs were the best thing, just wrapped up in your strength. I'd give up to be there right now. I just want you back, we all want that. I just wish that you hadn't forgotten. I hate this disease, I hate human beings. We fall apart before we get broken.
They tryna silence me, but I won't let it happen. Smooth criminal of thought, Michael Jackson. We non-fiction in a world that's full of capping. Give a Oscar to these people cause they acting. Move different in this town. When these people come around, they'll shut your ass down for the wrong view. They gon' make sure you conform, ask you up and make you whores. They'll take your firstborn, what we gon' do? And what we gon' through is fucking up my whole mood. A white girl sent the email to my own school. She tried to cancel me and slander me with old news. All because I made a joke I wasn't supposed to. Well fuck that little bitch, ho, fuck you. I'ma email your mama and tell her you sell nudes. Mad at me cause I don't listen to the fake news. They only try to shut you up when you speak truth. They tryna silence me but I won't let it happen. Smooth criminal of thought, Michael Jackson. We non-fiction in a world that's full of capping. Give a Oscar to these people cause they acting. They tryna silence me but I won't let it happen. Smooth criminal
say anomaly, go post a black square. Shut the fuck up, you ain't Malcolm X, go sit in that chair. You the type to post a pic with your black friend just to say that you did it. You a gimmick, it's not authentic, it's rented, yeah. My thoughts are so real, my rivals think it's the Bible. I'm starting to think they frame Cosby and Michael. You can't say that, but I said it just to spite you. High IQ, I ain't drugged up, you drink that lean till you Eiffel. Y'all ain't all that, I ain't seen you with Keenan. I be drinking orange smoothies with Kel expelling my demons. I'm too good, about to hit 1 billion views. Made my money making news, took my family on a cruise like.
They tryna silence me, but I won't let it happen. Smooth criminal, the thought, Michael Jackson. We non-fiction in a world that's full of capping. Give an Oscar to these people cause they acting.
Walking through this life like a man with no shadow. Always by myself, just trying to find my way. I've got no idea of how to get this thing started. Looking for a way out, never got me by. I'm so scared and I don't know what to do. All this medicine does is hide the truth. How could you be happy if you've got nothing to prove? So get up and get out there, son, what you got to lose. Walking through this life, forgetting strife in the rear view. Don't prolong the pain, I owe myself more than that. If I learned my lesson, could I go back to high school? Tell myself to have some fun, don't be so pent up. I'm so scared and I don't know what to do. All this medicine does is hide the truth. How could you be happy if you've got nothing to prove? So get up and get out there, son, what you got to lose.
Hey, this one goes out to the fake news, to the enemy of the people. Fuck Don Lemon, all the homies hate Don Lemon. Fuck CNN, fuck the whole staff, fuck the CEO and they mama. Fuck Don Lemon, all the homies hate Don Lemon. Fuck Don Lemon, all the homies hate Don Lemon. Fuck Don Lemon, all the homies hate Don Lemon. Fuck Don Lemon, all the homies hate Don Lemon. Fuck Don Lemon and fuck CNN. Enemy of the people wanna see the end. Fuck Don Lemon and fuck CNN. Enemy of the people wanna see the end. Fuck Don Lemon, all the homies hate Don Lemon. News is hella fake, all written. Who controls the thing? All. Fuck Don Lemon, propaganda's what we all get in. Sauce, call me ass mama, took her to the mall and made her suck my ball cervix. What an accomplishment, so you know I gave a sauce with it. Duly acknowledged that I can't stand this man politics. Fruity and contradict, he hates whites but he take the dick. And they hate the confidence, so they try to take my scholarship. News about fake and shit, Tucker Carlson my favorite, MSM on some others.
Howdy, everybody. Welcome to a Thursday edition of the SchuBros. Here tonight to talk about
December 38th.
December 38th. It basically is. Oh, God. 2020 just don't want to let go. Do you see the meme of the two guys on the Capitol steps the other day? One was dressed as a Joker. The other one was dressed as it. And it said 2020 showing its new coworker 2021 around the office.
No, I didn't see that one yet.
So it is January the 7th, the day after the day that some shit went down. And when I mean some shit went down, some shit went down.
Yeah, I was working all day and was pretty damn busy, so I didn't get to really see it live. My wife is a teacher, and has been working from home because of some other situations that we are aware of. We'll discuss later.
I know what you're talking about.
So she was kind of following it, but she was kind of telling me what was happening. But she had quit following it when it actually went down.
Yeah.
So I've seen the guy with the
Viking horns.
The horns and stuff, and the other guy with taking the speaker to the house's pedestal, which apparently is for sale on the internet right now.
I saw that it sold $99,000.
Yeah, $99,000. And then let's see, the one that looks like it's the actor from Nicolas Cage. It looks like Nicolas Cage is stealing the Declaration of Independence or whatever it is that he stole in the movie National Treasure, so that he could go get the treasure.
Yeah.
So that I've seen some decent memes come out of it. From what I understand, they broke some glass. One person got shot.
The lady died.
One person got shot and killed. Shot and killed. Apparently, an officer has succumbed to his wounds and has died today. Just a big black eye on America in general.
Yeah.
And especially, people who just can't accept fate.
Yeah. So I'm not going to be quite...
I don't like the fact that Biden won.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't sit right with me. But at the end of the day, ain't nothing I can do about it. And it's not, hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not going to impact my life all that greatly. Hopefully.
Well, here's the thing, right? Okay, I'm not going to be as nice about this. I'm going to be very point blank about this. If you support rioting when it's people who you agree with politically, and you don't support rioting when it's people you don't agree with politically, you're an idiot. That's my opinion on the matter. Yeah. You are an idiot. You know what? I would rather you just be a full anarchist and say, I just want it all to burn. Because then at least you're consistent. At least then I know who you are. And I know what to expect from you. But when you're against rioting and saying, oh, how could they burn their own cities down? And how could they do this? And how horrible it is for them to have done this. And then you're all supportive of it when the people who voted like you did do it. I'm sorry. There's no excuse for that. Am I upset that Trump lost the election? Yeah, I hate it. Am I certain there's fraud in this election? 100%. I think there was fraud in this election. Is it enough to overturn the results? I don't know. We don't know. I want an audit. I've called for a full audit of all 50 states. I've been incredibly consistent with this. Not, hey, let's audit Georgia, let's audit Arizona. No. Audit them all. Audit every seat. Audit every single one.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's all about transparency. And if we can't have transparency, then how do we have full faith and confidence in the election? So that's been my thing. It's like, why are you fighting audits so hard? Like, that seems sketch and sus, or however the language goes today, that you're so adamantly against, just a basic audit. Nothing crazy, just a basic audit. Make sure that, no one was monkeying around with things, toying with shit, hacking things of that nature.
So,
but they were, they fought that tooth and nail. They allowed recounts, but even then,
yeah, a recount's not an audit. So I look. Yeah. Okay, if you're a Trump supporter, that's fine, right? Be a Trump supporter. I supported Trump in this election. There's things I don't like about Trump. I've been vocal about those things.
Well, there's a lot of things I don't
like. But I like Trump more than I like Biden, right? Well, a lot more, way more, entirely more than I like Biden. But the thing is that I'm going to be a principled person here. I'm not going to give up on my principles just because we lost an election. Do I think there was fraud? Yes. But, okay, now we got to work on addressing that fraud. We can't sit here and mope and look at our wounds and, I'm sorry, oh, we'll just give up on the system because it's broken. Well, then move the fuck out of the country. Go your happy ass somewhere else. And if you think it's too fucked up here, do what the left said they were going to do in 2016 and move your happy ass out of the country. Go to fucking Canada if that's what you think you need to do. Because you know what? I'm not going to quit fighting for it. I'm not going to quit arguing and scrapping. And you know what? I might go down swinging. It's like Ted Cruz said. I might go down swinging, but I'm going to go down swinging if I go down swinging. So, listen, I don't care. Rioting is wrong. Regardless of whether it's our side, their side, whichever side. Rioting is wrong. It doesn't matter. Okay? You break into a building, you are doing something wrong. Now, the lady who got shot, condolences to her family. I wish she wouldn't have gotten shot. For all the people on the left who are saying, oh, well, they got handled with kid gloves, and if it would have been us rioting, it would have been this. A lady got shot and killed. No protester over the entire summer was shot and killed by a cop while protesting. Okay? The people storming the Capitol got maced. They got rubber bulleted. And a woman got killed by a police officer. That didn't happen to anybody on the left. So it wasn't this, oh, well, if it had been us. No. They responded. They responded, and they ended up shooting the lady. And God rest her soul.
What seems weird to me about that whole situation, though, was like you had reports anywhere from 500,000 to 6 million. I've heard it all, somewhere in that range. People show up to the Capitol that day, but you only had a single line of cops at the barricades.
So I heard 100. I heard between 75 and 125,000 people showed up. That was the number I heard.
I mean, I've seen pictures of a crowd that looks enormous, so I don't know.
I mean, 125,000 people is a lot of people, right?
It is, but it's not that.
I mean, it's not stadium seating, right? So it's not Kyle Field. We're not putting him in a stadium. Look, guys, I don't know. Y'all.
To be honest with you, I'm to the point where I want to just move on.
Yeah,
and I don't even want to talk about it anymore because it's so.
I just have to. I want to move on from the incident, but I want to address the people who are supposedly on our side who think it was okay. It wasn't okay. You didn't. Trump said it today. Hey. Trump's playing 5,000 degree chess, right? Trump told you you're not a fucking patriot because you stormed the fucking Capitol. Okay, you're not. You're not a patriot. It's not 1776. You didn't just win the fucking revolution. You didn't do anything to advance your cause. What you did is likely, we were going to win the House in 2022. We picked up a ton of seats in this election. But now, guess what the entire narrative going into 2022 is going to be? Oh, we won the Senate, and look at what the Republicans did when they lost. And now you've done it to every fucking Republican. Every one of us has to deal with your fucking bullshit. Every one of us has to go out and fucking try to fight that narrative off.
We had the Democrats on a legitimate issue for once. Defund the police and law and order was a legitimate thing that had a lot of people worried and a lot of people concerned. That was something that we nailed the Democrats on, left and right and center, back and forth, and we took a lot of seats at this election. Even though we lost the overall election, we still won a lot of seats in the Congress, in the House of Representatives. We narrowed the gap significantly to the point that we could have probably easily overtaken it in 2022.
And I'm just gonna say this:
now the Democrats are calling for anyone and everyone who even said anything about the election ever to be cast out and made to resign.
Yeah, to advocate Congress.
Made to resign.
Listen, Ted Cruz had a valid concern. He wanted to delay certification, not overturn the results of the election. That's not what Ted Cruz said. Nowhere in Ted Cruz's statement does he say, I'm going to overturn the election. What he said was, I want to delay certification and give the states time to see if there was fraud, because that was a very short window. I want to send it back to a couple of the states who some of their legislators had asked to have the certification sent back so that they could look at it. That didn't mean they were going to change it.
I mean, shit, even that day before the crap went down, the Arizona results were contested in the House in a joint session.
Went to debate.
And they were going to debate. And it looked like things were going to at least play out.
Yeah.
And then as soon as that happened, everyone's just like, nah, fuck it.
We were going to go from, oh, these are traitors to, okay, hey, these guys did their 2 hours of legitimate debate. My dog is hey, shut up. We were going to go from, hey, these guys did their 2 hours of legitimate debate. They voted, and we move on, right? That was what it was going to be. It was going to be, okay, they're not actually seditious traitors. It was just a parliamentary process that they went through. They took their chance, and now we're moving on from it, and they all have agreed to move on. Nobody. But then, you idiots stormed the fucking Capitol and acted like, and I'm sorry. Again, you can't sit here and convince me that this helped your cause. It didn't. What did you get? And by the way, if you're a Trump supporter and you want to bet that Trump will be the president on January 21st, name your number. Name your number. I will bet you. Okay? Name it. Anything up to $25,000. Fuck it. Anything up to $100,000. I'll bet you tonight that Trump will not be the president on January 21st. Name your fucking number. I'm happy to put the number.
Wait. Are we talking midnight?
I'm talking January 21st. Because January 20th
at the end of the day or the beginning of the day?
January 20th is the inauguration.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was thinking January 20th.
So the 21st
at the beginning of the day.
Will be the first.
Yeah, he'll
yeah,
president at the beginning of the day.
If you're listening to this and you're still on the Linwood reptilian bullshit lines, the Kraken is out there. I'm happy to take your money. By all means. You can pay me. I'll pay off my house. I have no issues with this. Let's see. Do you think Trump's extreme side of his base, the rioters of last night, feels betrayed by him not marching with them, and now with his scripted pre-2024 campaign speech he did to wash his hands after inciting them? Listen, Trump's not innocent in this. Trump's not specifically to blame because I didn't see Trump running into the Capitol building at any point in time. Right? So crazy people are going to be crazy people. Trump's not innocent in this. He could have defrayed it. He could have used much better language to tell the people to basically ease up and let go and get the fuck out of it and be done. Rudy Giuliani said some stuff that's really hard to defend against, and he said trial by combat right before this happened, so it's kind of hard to argue against it. I don't know where you can stand on that. Listen, guys, I'm happy to.
But just for reference, and before you get too much further into your diatribe, you look like a ghost.
Do I?
Yeah, you look like a ghost. Like you're there, but you look like you're translucent. Huh. And like you're speaking from the beyond the grave.
Oh, well, look.
Just want to point
on my
that
side,
out.
it looks good.
Kayla,
But let me.
appreciate the question. As far as my thoughts on it, Trump didn't do anything to prevent it. I'm so hesitant to say the word dog whistles because anybody can be incited by anything or see something that is or isn't there. Does that mean that person was using that kind of language? Not necessarily. Did he do anything to prevent it, though? Was he trying to quell the unrest beforehand? I don't believe so.
No.
I think he was trying to energize his base to be able to go to 2024, but he didn't understand the level of veracity that some people had, and normally conservative people are conservative. They're not going to do crazy shit. But what we've got to realize with Trump is that he's not just speaking to conservatives. He's a populist, and he's getting people that aren't just conservatives that follow him and listen to him and praise him. Like some people put him on a pedestal, like where he's damn near Jesus. Yeah, Rocky, apparently you had liver disease. That's called.
So what it is the light is a little bit bright on me, but I have a green screen behind me now, and I am immersing myself in the greenness of the screen.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so green with my screen.
So yeah.
But yeah, I haven't. It's COVID. I haven't gotten a lot of sun lately, and it's been snowing here.
Here you go. I've been getting a decent amount of sun, but that's because we can socially distance while quail hunting. So, taking people on quail hunts, it's getting a decent amount of sun that way.
Hey, good day to you too, Blake. Nice to see you. Listen, I'm gonna move on from this topic because there's more hopeful topics to discuss.
There's way more fun things to talk about, like the Orange Bowl.
No, I mean, who cares about that, right? Like, I mean, that's old news. That's over. That's done with. Nobody gives a shit about it anymore.
That was an amazing game.
That was last season. Like, okay, on to next season already. Let's just.
So was the Trump riots. That was last president.
We aren't on to a new president yet. We're still on this one. But okay, so listen. The last word here is that I want Republicans to win, but I think we need to be, as Republicans, as people who care about fiscal responsibility, we need to start holding the feet to the fire. If you're a MAGA guy who thinks that only MAGA Republicans should hold office anymore, you and I are not going to have a very good time with each other, because MAGA is not very fiscally responsible. Trump was not very fiscally responsible, right? Like, okay, he did.
No, deficit.
There's no doubt Trump did good things in his presidency. And I will defend Trump where he did well, right? Like, I'm not against it. 450 miles of border wall, I'm not against it, right? Like, there were things that he did that I liked, but there was things he did that I didn't. And we have to be able to call out our own and know when our people are doing stuff. We have to start holding ourselves to a higher standard than what we hold the other side. We know the Democrats are going to be crony, right? We know they're going to go in cronyism. We know they're going to write stimulus bills to help their companies, right? Solyndra and all these other green energy companies. We know that. Let's not give them ammunition to say we're doing the same thing, because they never claimed not to be doing it. We did. And if we're going to claim that we're the party of fiscal responsibility, we actually have to be the party of fiscal responsibility. So please, I know that there's a lot of pressure on 2022 to go primary people like Chip Roy, Thomas Massey, and people who refused to object to the election because they were in the Freedom Caucus. Those people, I'm sorry, had it right. They had no power to overturn the results of the election, and they simply were doing their job. You cannot like it. You can support Trump and think there was fraud in the election. I do. I think there was fraud in the election. I call for a 50-state audit. I have no problem with that. But that doesn't mean Congress has the power to overturn it. It's as simple as that. So, on to Kyle's Aggies. Big news today. Kellen Mond is not returning as the starting quarterback of the Texas A&M Aggies. Which, I mean, was it unexpected? Was it?
No, it was pretty well. Like, no one really anticipated him coming back. I mean, he'd already accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
And he had done that week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So no one was really anticipating him returning, but he kind of left the door open and said he was considering it or something of that nature. But that was after him accepting an invite to the Senior Bowl.
No, he could have always changed his mind and turned it down if he had decided to come back.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Exactly, but
I mean,
not maybe.
The Senior Bowl. I mean, that's weird because. I mean, I'm sure the Senior Bowl probably, if he'd announced that he was coming back to school, the Senior Bowl would have probably pulled its invite. But there's nothing saying.
Or he would have had to have rescinded his acceptance, one of the two.
But I mean, is there anything in the rules that says playing in the Senior Bowl prevents you from playing another year of college football?
I know, but I think you have to declare, or I think you have to have declared for the draft
to be invited. Yeah, so I would imagine that the Senior Bowl would rescind his invitation had he decided to come back. But there's technically nothing in the rules that says he couldn't play in that game. And now A&M could prevent him from coming back. Like the Aggies could prevent it from the Aggies could prevent it from playing in it because he is on scholarship and there are limitations to what you can do while on scholarship. So they could have said, hey.
And then there was another player accepted an invite to it as well, Aaron Hansford, the linebacker, who got nicked up in the Tennessee game and didn't play in the UNC game. But in his place, Andre White Jr. played and did
really well,
fairly well. Had several
the
big
defense.
plays, so.
The defense in the second half was much improved over the first half. I'm not gonna. It wasn't to the point in the first half where I was really like, okay, they're gonna lose this game or something like that. But it was definitely like, okay, this is closer than I thought it would be at this point. But it was also like you're sitting back going, this is kind of what A&M is, right? This is kind of the games A&M plays, even against Tennessee, Auburn. They've played these closer games because of their style of play. They definitely own time of possession, and we saw that against North Carolina. They owned time of possession. Now,
they just sit there and lean on you and wear you down.
Yeah. And we saw that in the fourth quarter.
I watched a guy. a professional scout break down the film of the fourth quarter. And he's like, 200 yards of offense, 24 points. Obviously, they imposed their will when it mattered the most.
Yeah, I mean,
which is the fourth
that
quarter.
offensive line is massive. The defensive line is massive, right? So when it came time, when players were tired, your defense was rested. I got in trouble for saying our the other day. I didn't go to A&M. It's not our team. It's your team. You went there.
Who called you out on that?
Some random UT fan.
Okay.
Which was funny because he said,
Tell them to suck it since you're part of the Aggie family. You know, you're named Ross.
So
class 83.
He put a thing about
Been
CJ Spiller being the $600 stimulus and Bijan Robinson being the $2,000 stimulus. So I couldn't help myself. I said, oh, so y'all paid $2K to get him on campus or what? Hey, we've never paid players. Prove it. And then I posted the story from Chris Sims where he said he got $100 handshakes all the time. And the guy, so? It was like, he told me to prove it. I proved it. Like, okay, we know that, you know. And he goes, so A&M does the same thing? It's like, I'm not saying they don't. They very well may. But as Jackie Sherrill said, it ain't who's cheating. It's who's getting caught.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not saying that Bijan Robinson got any money. I don't know. Wasn't there. Don't have a clue. But I'm saying that Texas, they've done it. We know they. And if you're willing to pay $15 million to get rid of a coach, how much are you willing to pay to get a player?
$21 million to get rid of the coach. $30 million to get rid of his staff.
So either which way, if you're willing to pay that much money to get rid of the coach, how much money are you willing to get a player on campus?
I'm trying to.
And they have. Let's say they have out-recruited their record. I'll put it that way. That's the nicest thing I can say about it.
Well, and so here's the situation there, and I'll break this down for you and for whoever's listening and whoever cares. The reason that the Longhorns continually go into this routine of high expectations and then shit performance is because of the recruiting analysts over at 24/7 Rivals, etc., etc.
Yeah,
that are big Texas guys. Like I think Rivals was founded by a Longhorn, or one of them, like one of the big guys in the chain of command is a Longhorn. So anytime Longhorns start recruiting a player, he immediately gets bumped in evaluation. Like they immediately go look at him a little bit harder, go look at him a little bit more strenuously, and they go, oh, based on this, and this, we're reevaluating this player, and he's now a 4-star. He's now a 5-star. He's now a high 3-star instead of a 2-star, whatever it may be. So you have all these high-end recruits coming into Austin every year after year, but in reality, they're recruiting against UTSA. They're recruiting against Tulsa. They're recruiting against lower-tier schools because these players, while they might be good, they're not being desired by A&M, Alabama, even Oklahoma.
I mean, they do get some good recruits, but they haven't pulled in a top quarterback in a long time. And you can tell me all day Sam Ehlinger was a top quarterback. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to me. You're lying to everybody.
He did good in Herman's offense, but he wasn't really what you would call a quarterback. He was a fullback who could throw. Let's face facts. He was a fullback who ran the ball a lot, and occasionally he would beat you over the top.
I mean, could throw and played against Big 12 defenses that didn't give a shit and just wanted to get their offense the ball back. That seems like a more relevant characteristic there.
Yeah, that too.
The other funny thing I saw...
So you have this self-fulfilling prophecy with the Longhorns year after year after year. Look like they're bringing in top-tier talent. All these expectations.
Top 10 ranking at the beginning of the season.
And then at the end of the year, they're sitting there going, "What's wrong? What are we doing wrong?
6-5.
Why aren't we any better than we are?" So
and then they get, I'm sorry, the elephant in the room. They get give me bowl games. They get give me bowl games. Like they get bowl games that are designed for them to win. I'm sorry, the Sugar Bowl against Georgia, who didn't give a shit, right?
Had half their team sitting out.
The Alamo Bowl against Utah with half its team sitting out. And then the Alamo Bowl versus... How did you go from playing an 11-1 team in the Alamo Bowl to playing Colorado? Right? Like, how did that happen? The same bowl game,
I don't know.
Completely different spectrum of competition. Right? You went from playing a top 10 team to an unranked team. Now, let's
Yeah,
address the elephant in the
that's-
room, because I was told by several people that the best conference this year, which is why they got 2 college playoff teams, was the ACC. Now, Kyle, pop quiz trivia time. How many bowl games did the ACC win this year?
Yeah, that would be a big old goose egg. Nada.
Did
Zero.
did any
not
of their
one.
ranked teams that were not in the playoff beat unranked teams in their bowl games?
No, I mean, again, they would have to have won a game for that to have happened.
So
they lost all of them.
so
Every single
an 8-win ACC team lost to Kentucky, a 4-win SEC team. A team that
Yeah,
in any
and
other
then-
year would not have been bowl eligible
Yeah,
beat
Indiana.
a top 25
it was-
team.
Indiana, who's the Big Ten, was it West, North? I don't know how. What
They
are
were
the
number
divisions in
2.
the Big
They were
Ten
number
called?
2 in the it's the legacy and the traditions or whatever. They don't.
Yeah, it's the stupidest
Yeah.
fucking names. But they were the second. They were behind Ohio State.
Yeah, they were number 2 in that division behind Ohio State. You had Ohio State and Northwestern at the top of each of their second division. Indiana is realistically the number 2 team in the Big Ten. Now,
Yeah.
elephant in the room here, to be fair, Northwestern trounced Auburn. But Auburn's without its
Yeah.
head coach.
But then Auburn was out as head coach. The defensive coordinator stepping in,
Yeah.
who was being fired, so he didn't care.
Yeah, so there's some other shit.
Uh,
Florida
Oklahoma beating the shit out of Florida, but then again, Florida had everybody sitting out other than Kyle Trask, and Kyle Trask played like crap.
And the other part of that is Oklahoma's a really good football team. Like, you can say what you want.
I would have liked to have seen that that game in the regular season when it mattered.
No doubt. That would have
been a whole different ball game.
would've-
I'm not saying Oklahoma would still win.
If that team,
I'm just saying it would have been a different game.
I'm sorry. There's not an objective person I think that could say they would have rather seen Notre Dame play Alabama than see Oklahoma play Alabama.
Or A&M play them again.
I'm
Who
not
actually
against that,
plays
but I'm saying, okay, everybody who said, and I understand Oklahoma lost to K-State. I get it. They lost to K-State. They lost to Iowa State the next week. I have 2 OU engineers in my office. Trust me, they heard it, right? They heard every bit of it. Well, you can't beat a team with the last name State in there, with the name State in there. But the fact is that they lost those games, and they weren't up playoff because of that. But if you want to ask who's the top 4 team in the nation, talent-wise, when they put things together, Oklahoma's up there. Oklahoma's as talented as a team offensively in the nation. Now, defensively, that's yet to be seen because they did not play a great offensive Florida team, right? You had Kyle Trask trying not to get hurt. You had, no wide
Everybody,
their wide
every
receiver sitting out. Yeah.
and the tight end all sitting out. Everybody gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it was.
Yeah.
That was not Florida when A&M played Florida.
No, I'm not saying
That was
that.
Florida.
But here's the thing, right? Okay, if you're going to tell me that the conference was so great that they deserve to get 2 teams into the playoffs, then their number 3 team shouldn't lose to Oklahoma State. Their number 4 team shouldn't lose to Kentucky.
Okay, we've had this discussion. Wait, who are you talking about as the 3 and 4?
Miami was the 3. They lost to Oklahoma State. North Carolina. Okay,
so you are talking about ACC.
Yeah, North Carolina was the 3. North Carolina, Miami had the same record. North Carolina was ranked higher, so they're the 3. So they get beat by A&M. Then the number 4, Miami, gets beat by Oklahoma State. And then the number 5, NC State. NC State? Who did Kentucky play?
Yeah.
NC State. NC State.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, if Kentucky has a legitimate quarterback, anybody who can throw a football, that's a runaway game. Like, I watched that game. NC State couldn't do anything. The announcers were trying to build up the quarterback for NC State. Like, that you could tell that they felt like a play was going to happen, that this guy was going to have a drive, and he'd throw a pick. And it was like, well, I don't know what to tell you guys because he's just not that good. So it was quite interesting to watch that game. I was actively rooting for Kentucky in that game.
The one thing that I was surprised about with UNC was their quarterback. I was not aware that he actually, and during the game, he actually beat the record for the most touchdowns accounted for as an ACC player in 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's including Trevor Lawrence.
Which is impressive.
Yeah. So, like, he went from 65 to 68, I think, during the course of the game. And that 75-yard bomb he hit was
beautiful.
It hurt. Not gonna lie.
He missed two. He missed two bombs that could have really changed the progression of that game.
I think at that point we had hit him pretty hard and rattled him pretty hard, and that's why he started missing. We were getting to him. We may not have been sacking him a lot, but we were getting to him.
Yeah,
we were knocking him down. The most bullshit call I think I've ever heard, and I didn't think it was a NCAA rule, landing on him with your body weight. I was like.
Yeah, there were
pushed into it.
There were several calls in that game where I was like, why don't we just make them play flag? Because that's how this game is being called.
The Leon O'Neal celebration taunting. I was like, did you watch that? Because he got up and goes, yeah, and that's it. And they flagged him. I was like,
now, so okay, there could have been the announcers did point out that there are words that he may have used that we didn't hear. We didn't hear. We don't know.
Hear them, and there was nobody in the stadium, so we would have heard them.
Well, but if the refs hear it, they're gonna throw the flag. I don't know. I agree with you on most of it. Like yeah, the placing your body weight on the quarterback, and it's like the lineman pushed him over. Like, what did you want him to do?
Yeah.
Like, he just happened to land on the quarterback. That's where he landed because that's where the guy... yeah, there were some pass interference calls that was like, okay, if you're going to call it one way, you got to call it the other because there was definitely some pass interference on their side.
Yeah.
But it was overall a good game. It was a fun, entertaining football game to watch, especially when your freshman running back bounces off 77 people and then runs for 97-something yards. Yeah, as he's running down the sideline, the announcer, well, that was the Texas State sprint champion. It was like, yeah. I imagine, because that dude is gone.
Like, as soon as he got past the one diving tackler, I was like, no, he gone.
He gone.
Like,
it's over. Bye. Yeah.
There was no one catching him. It didn't matter what angle they had, they were not going to catch him.
I was watching the ref, and the ref had like a 20-yard head start. And he was trying his best. He was booking it, and he just had no shot. Like you watch these guys, and you see them run, and you're like, oh, that's not that fast. And then you see them against an average speed person, and it's like, holy crap, that dude's fast. Because on TV, you're not watching them against average speed people. You're watching them against people who are at their speed or close. Like even college. Defensive ends, like the elite guys, are pretty fast, right? Like, they're not going to outrun that guy, but they're not slow. They can outrun me, and they're 100 pounds more than me.
Anybody can outrun you.
I got mom beat.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, she's got two new knees.
I mean, she's bionic. She ought to be able to win.
No.
We have the technology.
He was the Texas State champion in the 200, and I want to say he was also in the 100.
Which means he's fast.
So he's not just fast. He's not just fast. He's fast for a long time.
Yeah, he can withstand being fast. He can stay fast.
Yeah. So he's going to be running track for A&M this fall too. And then since the last time we talked, did we talk about Bryce Foster? You remember?
Yeah, we mentioned it, or at least we talked about it.
Okay, so I know that we had talked about him, but I don't know if he had actually committed at that point. He didn't officially sign until Friday of early signing period, whereas everyone else pretty much was on Wednesday of that.
And then y'all got another D end because you can't have
another two players.
You can't have enough defensive ends in one fucking class. You just got to take all of them.
No. We gotta have all of them. 2 5-stars, 2 4-stars. Gotta go get the talent where it's at.
I mean, your defensive and offensive line for the next 3 to 4 years ought to be at a very high level of play. I mean, Kenyon Green will be a sophomore or a junior next year, so he's probably gone because he's a likely first-round draft pick after next year. He'll probably now. I don't know. As far as I know, he was recruited as a tackle, but he was so good that they bumped him to guard. So he's because your tackles are both seniors. He's probably your left tackle next year, correct?
Good chance that he'll bump out, but not 100% certain that he will or will not. There's been speculation that he will, but there's also been talk that he's so good at where he's at that there's another player who's good to be left tackle, so they might let him stay at guard.
Either player on the left side of the line is going to be a high round draft pick, like left guard or left tackle. But tackle's definitely going to carry more draft profile because
and if you've played both at a high level in the SEC, then your profile is just going to be that much better.
And in the pros, they'll
Jake Matthews, who played right guard, right tackle, left tackle at A&M, he got drafted 4th by the Falcons because of that. And then Luke Jokel was starting left tackle somewhere in there. He was top 10.
And I think then what's his face? Mike Evans went 11th to the Buccaneers, which is funny because they went to rival teams. And then Johnny went 22nd to the Browns, but we need talking about that. Okay, so let's talk. Okay, so I know you're not as big on it as I am, but the NFL playoffs are starting this weekend, and I honestly don't even know who's playing each other. The only game I know of is Pittsburgh, Cleveland, which is a rematch.
Did the Cowboys end up making the playoffs or no?
So the Cowboys needed Washington to lose to make the playoffs, and they needed to win. Well, they went ahead and just lost to the Giants. Now, at the end, this works out because the Redskins, the team formerly known as the Redskins,
Washington football team,
the team formerly known as the Redskins, ended up winning anyway. So because they won, Dallas wouldn't have made the playoffs anyway, and winning an extra game would have just hurt their draft position. So they literally have the 10th draft pick. They literally would have fallen to the 15th draft pick. Now, the only big game that I'm really aware of this week is Pittsburgh, Cleveland, and then Buccaneers.
It's a triple header, 2 days in a row.
Yes, because this year, instead of being 6 teams make the playoffs in each conference, it's 7 teams make the playoffs, and only the number 1 seed gets a bye. So it used to be the top 2 seeds got a bye, only the 1 seed gets a bye now. So the top 6 teams at each side will play. So the Chiefs and the Packers are the bye teams. So the Buccaneers will play the Washington football team. I think the Rams and Cardinals ended up making it. One of those will play the Seahawks, and then the other one will play Saints. And then you've got Pittsburgh on that side. You got the Chiefs on that side. You've got the Bills, and you've got the Browns, both in the playoffs in the same year. I mean.
Yeah, when does that ever happen?
It hadn't happened for the last 20 years because the Browns hadn't made playoffs. So,
any veracity of the Bills banning Como from the game?
I haven't heard anything about that, honestly. That's news to me. So that's the first time I've heard anything about it.
They were going to ban him. I heard they were going to ban him because his
policies basically.
No, De Blasio's the mayor. Almost the mayor.
De Blasio's
the governor.
De Blasio is the mayor of NYC, which has nothing to do with the Bills because the Bills aren't in NYC.
Exactly. But Como is the governor, and Como's policies have prevented fans from being able to attend. Did I say Como?
No, I said Kilmo.
Oh, okay, Como. His policies have prevented fans from being able to attend games, and now they're finally going to allow some people to go to the playoff game, and they're like, but
3,000.
not you.
3,000 is it.
3,000.
Hey guys, comment on what you think of the green screen because I think I did a pretty fucking good job. Like I think it looks pretty good. Like I'm a little whitewashed.
But
I'm a little whitewashed.
You're watching.
Okay, I'll fix that, but it's not gonna happen right now. But look at the green screen effect, man. Like look at there's no blurriness on the chair. There's no blurriness.
The top left corner of your chair is like pixelating, but other than that, it looks good. And then, obviously, when you raise your hands and move, your computer's not fast enough to keep up with you, so it looks like just one giant blob moving.
I mean,
but-
if I was like
Yeah, it's
if
not-
I was like trying to make a live action movie, it probably wouldn't work out. But sitting here talking, it's pretty fucking decent. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, we're gonna get you a green screen. We're just gonna be floating heads from now on. So, I mean, okay, so I gotta ask. So, let's go back to politics for just a minute, and let's talk about where you think we go from here. Like, what do you think? What do you think is the approach?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, do you think?
I don't know,
Do you
man.
think Trump 2024?
I don't think so anymore. Had he been able to not, well, I mean, you know, he can't make people do things or not do things, but had he been able to control the amount of people that were in DC for that whole, like he encouraged people there to protest. Now, protest and storm the Capitol are two totally different things. Don't get me wrong, but it's still going to be viewed as that was his fault because he encouraged people to be there for that reason. So had he not been that way during that time and played into the media and you know their games that they play, then yeah, I think he would have had a chance in 2024, especially if Biden like come out the gate and just floundered. He would have had a good opportunity to come back. But now that everything's gone down, what has gone down, dude, I don't even know if he's going to be able to stay in the U.S.
I don't think he'll have to, escape the U.S. or anything. I don't think any of that's going to happen. But I do.
I hope not. But at the same time, man, the Democrats are coming after him hard.
They're going to, and
they're filed impeachment charges.
They're not going to impeach him.
Sedition charges. They're not gonna. Dude, you say that, but they have filed impeachment charges. They've asked Pence to make him, get him to stand down. They've tried to get Pence out. I mean, they're trying.
We got 13
everything.
days.
It's like, dude,
nothing in government happens that fast.
You got 13 days. You ain't getting none of this shit passed. Don't even waste your time. Don't even waste our money.
This is bluffering for donations. That's what this is. This is grifting of the grifts.
Yeah.
This is give us more money. This isn't going to lead to anything. Trump could have been better. He could have been more forceful. Yeah. He could have helped himself in this situation. But he also is not the reason that it happened. Okay, it's time to be serious, right? Like, okay, Kamala Harris wasn't rioting. Was she bailing people out? Yeah. Can we be mad at her for bailing people out? Fine. But she wasn't the one rioting during the damn riots, right? So let's be honest in our talks. We want Democrats to be honest when they talk about Trump. And we hear them talk about things and it's just all bad all the time, which is a lie because there was good things. But let's be honest when we talk about the other side as well. Let's be honest and actually attack what we can attack, okay? Kamala Harris, okay, her being a woman, her being black, Indian, whatever, has nothing to do with it. You want to attack her politics? You want to attack her mass incarceration policies? You want to attack her laughing about smoking weed? Fine. Right? All those things are fair game. That's political stuff. But
her plagiarizing Martin Luther King.
Again, fair game. Fine. Right? But there's certain things that we've just got to start being better at.
Okay, so here's a fun one. How far into Biden's second year will it take for him to step down so she becomes president?
I think he's going to serve the full 4 years, and then she'll run. This is what you asked me my opinion. I'm giving you my goddamn opinion.
I'm giving you opportunity to say it.
I think he serves the first 4 years, and then he doesn't run for re-election in 2024. She does. She's basically gifted.
He's introducing her as president still to this day.
Right. So, I mean, he's going to say stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Do I think she'll effectively be running things for the next 4 years? Yeah. I think she'll be effectively the person in power for the next 4 years. I don't think Biden will do much. I think he's going to be there to collect a paycheck and help Hunter and do some other things. But do I think Kamala will be the person actually writing policy and calling shots? Yes, which is the scary part. Because the one thing about Biden was, well, he's kind of an idiot, so he's not going to really get anything done. But Kamala will get some stuff done because she, for better or worse, is not a complete and utter fucking moron. My thing, though, is that for the Republicans, I think we've got to start from scratch. I think we have to go back down to the local level and we have to start fighting those elections.
I'm almost to the point of the Republican Party has to disband and reform as something else. Like you've got to come back with new.
I want new power.
When people go and change their logo or rebrand or something like that's, it's almost got to be to that point. Like the stain of that thing, of that day, of that impact, that veracity, that bullshit is going to live on forever. And there's nothing that the Republican Party can do to officially wash its hands of it other than just repackage, rebrand, and come back new as something else. Maybe the Libertarian Party finally gets a little bit more common sense leadership in it and actually recognizes the role of the government, but a limited government, and how that could actually play. Because that messaging plays to a lot of people. There's a lot of people who just want to be able to live their lives and go about their days and not have to worry about what the government is doing. But they understand that the government does play an important role, that there's certain things that just, private citizens can't do. Policing, military, roads. I mean, roads can be done by private companies. We see toll roads all the time. But there is a legitimate role of the government. There is a legitimate role for them in everyone's lives. So if the Libertarian Party could become more serious and quit allowing the anarchist aspect of it to run it, I think they would have a much better chance. And the Liberty Caucus
Freedom Caucus
of the Republican Party.
Freedom Caucus.
What? Freedom Caucus had kind of that aspect to it, that there was. If the Freedom Caucus, call it the Freedom Caucus, rebrand as the Freedom Caucus.
So I was talking to Luke about this morning, right? And me and him were talking about it because I was up real early driving to a rig, and so he was still, it was mid-afternoon for him. And he posed the question, would you rather see a new third party or a revamp of the Republican Party? And I said, man, neither, because you're not going to revamp the Republican Party. The powers in the Republican Party are going to prevent it, right? Like it's, there's too much money at the top. There's too much cronyism that's going to keep it from really ever being able to be reformed anymore. We're at that point where the Republican Party is a crony politic party. I'm sorry, I refuse. I used to say corporate Republican. That used to be my nice term for it. I'm done with it. They're cronyist. That's what I'm going to call it anymore. You're a cronyist politician. Whether you're a Democrat or a big business Republican, you're a cronyist. That's what you are. You believe in cronyist government. And I've been rereading Road to Serfdom by Hayek. And one of the things in the foreword, I have a new edition. One of the things in the foreword that really struck me was that in one of Hayek's responses to some competitive socialists back in his day was he wasn't just against socialism. He was against all central planning. And he said, the enemy is not socialism. The enemy is any central planning. And that really stuck with me. And it really said, you know what? Okay, yeah, he's right. That's what I think. That's what I believe. Central planning in any form is bad. Central planning never works. We need the invisible hand. We need rules. We need regulations. We need the government to set up.
The issue with central planning is that the central planning can only make rules that impacts everybody. They're not able to go in and say, this group of people over here is different from that group of people over there, and these group of people over here need to have rules and regulations that impact them and the way they live.
The
and
problem
the
with central
environment that they
planning
live
is
in.
that it inevitably will
And
lead.
that doesn't.
It'll inevitably lead to a very select few people doing the planning,
Running
and
it.
it will require more and more government control and control over this economy in order to be able. So it's going to start looking more and more like socialism. Well, so we're not socialist right now, right? But we have a government that tells us who we can shop with. If it's never been more apparent than right now, then it is. Because we have a government that's literally telling us you can shop with Walmart, Amazon, or Target. Those are your options.
Well, we got HEB here.
Okay, but you know what I'm saying. It is literally gotten to the point where the government has told us you can't shop locally. You can't shop with your buddies. That's illegal. You have to shop with the companies we tell you to shop with. You have to do business with the companies we allow you to do business with. So it's not socialism. It's still private ownership of goods, right? Socialism is government ownership of resources and means of production. We're not socialist, but we're cronyist. And cronyism leads to government dictatorial power. Again, Friedman said economic freedom is political freedom. And are we economically free right now? No. We're not an economically free people.
And if you think $2,000 coming into your pocket from the government is going to lead to economic freedom, even if it was $2,000 a month,
hey,
it's
y'all make
not.
fun of
All
me
it's
for having a
doing
lot
is
of
just
kids.
devaluing. It's like all it's doing is devaluing.
Yeah.
That's all it's doing.
So if you're in debt, great, because it's devaluing your debt, which is good, right? Like your debt doesn't look as bad anymore. But if you're not in debt, you paid your shit off. It's devaluing your investments. So that's not so good.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna see this inflation of prices, and that's like I'm scared of what inflation's gonna do in the next 4 years. Inflation could get real bad. Put your shit in some high interest earning. Take risk, because debt doesn't matter anymore, guys. Like, be risky, because you need to earn a significant rate of return in order to have any realistic, real value return. Because chances are we could see 3.5%, 5 to 10% inflation at a very easy clip, and that's scary. And we're only going to see more cronyism behavior. Right now,
What I'm worried about is how much my taxes are going to go up when Biden's tax plan goes into effect.
So
that's what
I said that the other day. I said enjoy your $2K tax checks until you have to pay $10K back. That's exactly where we're going to be. I mean, for anybody who said, "Oh, Biden's tax plan's not going to affect people under $400K," you're an idiot. You're an idiot, because they're already. The rich are, that number's just going to keep moving down, right? That number's just going to keep getting lower and lower and lower, and they don't got anybody to stop them, right? Like, they can literally nuke the filibuster at this point. Like, we can see it. They can pack the court. They can nuke the filibuster. I'm not saying they will, because I don't really think that. I don't.
Yeah, there's the one
Manchin.
Democrat senator from West
Joe
Virginia. That now it's like the most powerful politician.
Yeah, it was Susan Collins there for a while, right?
Yeah,
and now it's Joe Manchin.
But now it's this Joe Manchin. Yeah. That who it is? Yeah, he's like the most powerful person in America right now, because he is the deciding vote in the Senate.
Yeah, so
he can keep Democrats from doing.
So remember,
anything.
Kamala only gets a vote if it's a direct tie. If it's not a tie, Kamala does not get a vote. So if it is 51-49, Kamala does not get to vote. And even if she did, it wouldn't matter, right? So if it's 50-50, Kamala breaks the tie. That's how it works. So we need Manchin to at least keep them from nuking the filibuster. If he prevents them from nuking the filibuster, the next 2 years will be much, much less chaotic. If he allows them to nuke the filibuster, or if fucking goddamn motherfucking Mitt Romney allows them to nuke the filibuster, we could be fucked real quick.
Yeah, that's the thing that I was so worried about when it came to Georgia. It's like Trump's rhetoric led to people not voting. them not voting led to Democrats
Yeah,
winning.
listen, I had
Right.
buddies who were
If
literally
there's
door
one
walking
thing,
in
if
Georgia.
there's one thing that we needed to really keep a check and balance was a split house.
Split Congress.
It's okay for the Democrats to control one chamber as long as the Republicans control the other. Because yes, there will be gridlock, but at the same time, then they can't just railroad anything and everything into existence. Because right now, if they wanted to, and Manchin, gets bribed or whatever, they want to do to get him to do what they want him to do, they could put 13 Supreme Court justices up there and just completely redo everything in their way. And we're stuck here with nothing that we can do to really stop it. And that's the scariest part of this whole situation, is that there's nothing that we can do as private citizens right now until 2022.
Yeah, well, and I mean,
that's our next opportunity to get any real power back from the government.
yeah, and that's a sad and realistic truth. I mean, it just is what it is, and at this point, we I hate to say this, we have to accept it, and we have to understand that we are not in power, but that's why I think more than ever now we need to focus on local politicians. We need to focus on getting the people who are actually going to control elections. We need to get the people who are actually going to impact our day-to-day lives, enforce lockdowns, right? Those are the people we need to go after. We need to go after not just governors, but state representatives, city councils, mayors, county clerks, people who affect our lives that we don't even realize affect our lives, right? Until they do. So you can say what you want. I agree there was fraud in this election, but you know what you can't say? You can't say Stacey Abrams didn't just change the fucking country.
Yeah.
Stacey Abrams won this election. Biden may be the president. Stacey Abrams won this election.
Well, explain it for the rest of the people who are not following.
So Stacey Abrams was a gubernatorial candidate in Georgia, right? Who claimed voter suppression and voter all this crap from Governor Kemp. So as a concession to her, Governor Kemp signed a order that basically said they weren't going to check signatures on mail-in ballots. And because of
that's the thing I'm worried about the most moving forward, is this mail-in ballot stuff. It's like, as long as it's done properly, I have no issues with it. But if it's just going to be anybody and everybody is allowed to mail in vote, and they're not actually going to check, what's to keep people from stealing people's ballots out of the mailboxes? What's to keep people from watching people cast their ballot via putting it in the mailbox, stealing it out of the mailbox, and destroying it if they suspect that they're of the rival faction? There's so many aspects to that are introduced that induce fraud, whereas that is not as I'm not saying it's still plausible. It's not nearly as possible when it comes to having to show an ID, having to have a signature verification, and voting in person. All these things lead to a lot less issues when it comes to fraud and devaluing the vote. And that's what we're seeing. It's just there's a lot of people who now feel like their votes don't matter. And the Democrats love to preach voter suppression, voter da 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 da. But at the end of the day, you have 74 million people who voted for Trump who now feel like their vote didn't matter. Like, it didn't matter, and they're not sure that their vote ever would have mattered because the fix was in. I'm not saying it was. I'm not saying it wasn't. But there was no clairvoyancy in this election. There was no transparency. There was no repercussions for people, figuring out ways of getting around the system. Yeah, you had 3 or 4 big cases of voter fraud get caught, 2 of them here in Texas, but you didn't have anything that was uncovered that was this big, but at the same time, you didn't have anything to allow it to. they fought audits tooth and nail to keep transparency from being available to us.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing, right? Like, what would an audit have hurt? If you won, you won.
Nothing.
An audit's not going to change that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, okay, why not have a signature audit? Why not have verification? Why not let us see the machines? You know, why are these really weird things happening? And okay, you know, I've said for a long time, I'm not certain that there was enough fraud to overturn the election. That doesn't mean there was no fraud. It just means you're going to have to show me the data.
No.
I'm a data guy. I believe in data. Data is key. Without data, I can't make a decision. Now, again, without data, I can't make a decision. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm saying I don't know. I don't have the data. So I'm saying an audit would be necessary to get me that data. Without an audit, I simply cannot make an objective decision. I can't say one way or other what I would have done or what I would look at. If the data came back and I saw that there was this 0.01% fraud rate, I'd say, okay, okay, there is some fraud and we need to investigate those, but it didn't change the outcome of the election. But we don't know. Right? And I'm sorry, guys, no. I know you want to point to samples, and sample sizes are great, samples are great, but samples are not always determinative of the real whole, right? Because I can flip a coin and have 10 times it come up heads. And I can flip it 10 more times and it come up tails. That doesn't mean that it's 100% always going to end up heads and 100% always going to end up tails, because in total, it's 50-50. So I can audit 100,000 votes and I can find 30,000 errors in that 100,000 votes. And then I can audit another 5.5 million and not find one error. So we need full audits, not partial audits. We need to be able to look at every ballot and say, is this signature correct? We need to be able to say, is this ballot a valid ballot? Does it count? But you know what we need to be able to do that? We need local politicians. We need county clerks, city councilmen, mayors. We need those people. Where we lost Georgia was in those elections. Okay, we can blame the governor, and he shares his part. I'm not absolving him. He shares his part of the blame. But he was, for better or worse, following law in Georgia that basically handcuffed him to doing what the Dems wanted him to do. I don't like it. I don't agree with it. I think it's shit. But here's where we are. We need to focus on local elections. We need to take the left's strategy and use it against them. Right? We want to keep them from cheating. That's how we keep them from cheating. Put people in place who won't cheat. Simple as that. But put people in place who will enforce elections.
And the thing is that there's always going to be the accusations, but you know, the more that you can do, the more that we can get back to real paper ballots that can actually be audited and not these computer systems that are in charge. Because I know a lot of people are like, oh, let's go to online voting. I'm like, no, man. You know how many outside foreign influences we have when it comes to online today? If you have the election go to online, guaranteeing you it's getting hacked. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And how many times does it get done? Because all these foreign actors are out there. They have that's their job in their government is to sit there and hack our systems.
I was literally in a meeting with the COO of Microsoft, who was talking about Hillary Clinton and her email server, and in Seattle, in front of a ton of liberal college students working on an MBA, called Hillary Clinton a moron for putting information on a private server. Because like he said, it's not if, it is when you will be hacked. It's not a matter. And now he was using this to proclaim why cloud computing is so great, because then you have Microsoft protecting your shit from getting hacked. And then of course we see that they got backdoored in the SolarWinds stuff. So maybe their shit wasn't so great after all. But, you know, guys, you're going to get hacked. So, you know, hey, maybe don't save all your bank account passwords to Google. Maybe write them down on a piece of paper.
Even that's not safe anymore. I mean, it's to the point where you've got to change your password every 3 months. You've got to make it. It's not that it needs to be like all these different characters. It needs to be long. The longer your passwords are, the better off you are, because each character adds that many more tries that they have to do to get your password right.
Which means more likely to get locked out before they get to it.
Yeah. So they're not going to be able to sit there and run their little algorithm if it's a 20 character email, password. It can be something like Ross is an idiot 2021 exclamation exclamation exclamation. That's a great password because it's long. It's kind of guessable, but it's not really because it's so long. So their algorithm is going to sit there and just check each individual character over and over and over again. The longer it is, the more time it takes them to get it. And like you said, they'll get locked out before they get there. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird time, guys, and I want to bring some optimism to you tonight, like for all of the opening of the show where we just berated.
Yeah.
The
A&M looks like they're gonna get a 5-star running back, another 5/4-star defensive tackle,
and
potentially.
We are officially in the Haynes. We are officially in the King's reign.
Yeah. Well, Calzada still has a chance to prevent that for at least a couple more years. I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he is. I think that's going to be a damn good quarterback competition. They're both high-end athletes.
I bet by August Calzada's in the transfer portal.
I suspect King's going to win it. That's my suspicion, but I'm not Jimbo Fisher. I'm not them in the spring. I don't know how that's going to play out.
So I bet Calzada goes to SMU, then goes to Arkansas, then goes to San Jose State.
Well, you added one step in there if you're talking about Nick Starkel.
SMU, but
he never went to SMU.
Not for lack of trying.
No, he won a championship at San Jose, so I give him that.
And he's coming back for his.
He got his degree from.
He's going to have a doctorate by the time, he comes off fucking scholarship at this point.
I tell you what, man. Hey, and if that's all he ever does, at least he got it.
Power to him. So, guys, there is optimism, right? There is a new day, right? There is reason.
Life is gonna go on regardless.
There's reason to keep fighting and keep living and keep being political and keep thinking that there is room in this country for people like us. We're not moving to Canada. We're not moving to Mexico. We're not going somewhere else.
I'm staying put.
What?
I'm staying put. I paid too much money to live in this house.
I mean, I used to always joke with my wife that Australia was a good option just because they spoke English and they seemed pretty based, but that's not looking so true anymore. So I'm staying my happy ass here.
They banned guns like 20 years ago, so no, never was an option for me.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what I want. I got that offer for a birthday gift, so I gotta figure out what I'm getting. I got a free reign to get whatever I want, and I'm like, I don't know. What do I want? A shotgun?
I think you probably should have already gotten yourself an AR if you didn't already.
The prices are elevated at the moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're about to go the way of the dodo.
Well, that's my wife is telling me go buy one, here soon before your birthday, so that you get it before anything possibly happens. But I don't know. I mean, honestly, I don't think Biden will be all that effective. I don't.
Now that he's got control of the House and the Senate, I'm a little.
If they nuke the filibuster, I will be concerned. If they don't nuke the filibuster, they don't do shit for 2 years. That's where we are.
So,
I mean, that's literally when they set the rules, when they convene the new Congress, when they convene the new Senate, they'll have to vote on the rules package. In the rules package, they can vote to nuke the filibuster if they choose. If it passes, I will be at the gun store that day. If it doesn't pass, then I will wait for prices to normalize. But guys,
that's what I'm worried about right now. Is just ammo is so damn hard to find.
I found
Academy the other day.
So I found a random gun store in Brady, Texas that had some 45 ACP, and it was $50 for 50 rounds. Yeah. I bought it for $35 a round about 2 months ago. And even that was elevated. Yeah. So It is definitely going up in price. But it is what it is. I mean, you want ammo right now, that's what you got to pay. And I was like, well, I don't have to have it, but I'd like to have it. So I went ahead and bought it. But guys, there is reason to want to continue living in this country and to think we still are the best country in the world. And remember, if you weren't personally in the Capitol stealing the Speaker's podium, then don't let anybody blame you for that shit. It wasn't your fault. You didn't do it. You didn't cause it to happen. Ted Cruz didn't cause it to happen. Donald Trump, although he didn't stop it as quick as he could, he didn't cause it to happen. Like, guys, they're going to blame you no matter what. Don't let them blame you. Just say fuck them and move about your day. You know what? And you know what? Go figure out who your local politicians are. Go find out who your county clerk is. Go figure out whether or not they're treating you right when it comes to your elections. Go run against them if you need to. I know they're shit paying jobs. I know that, our grandmother can tell you they're not great paying jobs. The benefits are good after you end, but they're not great paying jobs while you're in them. But find out about those elections and do what you can. I am pondering a decision at the moment that might, we'll have an announcement. I promised a decision by the beginning of February. So we'll see.
You should do it on my birthday.
Okay. If I announce it on the show, I'll announce it on your birthday.
Wait, let's see. What day?
I promised.
My birthday falls on a Wednesday.
I promised the donor class a decision by February. So we will see by the beginning of February. So it's nothing I'm taking lightly. It's not what I did before. It's not a congressional race. It's not even a state representative race. It's much lower than that. But it would be a neat first step. And I now have some people willing to help me out. So it definitely is something where
that's good.
It's getting some consideration, and I think there's a very likelihood the wife has already basically given the thumbs up to it. So I'm thinking about it. It's whether or not I want to devote the time to it. That's really what it is. It's whether or not I want to take that on right now in my life with
and that's
school.
A 2-year commitment, 4-year commitment.
4 year.
And are you going to be?
I should be. I mean, I as far as I know, I'm here.
I've heard you talking about potentially getting new jobs. So that's the
thing.
Like,
so
if you get this new job, you would move.
Well, okay. So that was always a possibility, but it seems to have been alleviated over the last couple months. So I have gotten the new role, the new job, and it is keeping me here for right now. There were some other opportunities. I had options. I had one in Antarctica. I had a job offer to go to Antarctica. 6 months on, 6 months off, good pay, but I would have been in fucking Antarctica for 6 months out of the year. And you know what? It's cold, and I wouldn't have had my wife. I wouldn't have had my kids. I would have been there, by myself. And although the pay is great, it's just not something I'm interested in right now.
There's also that price of happiness. What makes you happy?
Well,
if being away from your wife and kids for 6 months out of a time makes you happy, then go for it. But a lot of people, that's not the answer.
Look, I mean, would the money give me an opportunity to do some things in my life that are things I wouldn't have the opportunity to do otherwise? But if
we need to wrap, we can.
Yeah, well,
good.
We're going to in a second. But if it requires other things, then it's just not worth it. But guys, just keep your heads up, okay? Like, don't worry about what the people on Twitter say. And listen, the MAGAs are out right now, okay? They're big mad right now. They're butthurt. They were promised all this shit, and it didn't come through. Guys, don't let them worry you. Stay to your principles. Stay who you are. I'm sorry, Chip Roy blew me away this last week, and his speech on the House floor last night was...
Yeah, I mean, just look through some shit. If it sounds way too good to be true, or there's a lot of promises but not a whole lot of action, maybe kind of start calling bullshit on things, And
a lot more action. Lynn Wood is an idiot. I'm there. I'm sorry. If you believe Lynn Wood is a guy,
I don't even know who that is. I'll be perfectly honest.
He's claiming now that Pence is going to get Trump executed, which is just, I'm done. Like, okay.
Again, don't even know who it is. I quit.
He
I
was
kinda
the
quit
lawyer who
following the
got
whole-
CNN to settle with Nick Sandmann.
Okay. I kind of quit following it December 18th or so. I just kind of got, fuck it, it ain't going to happen.
I got to the point where I was, hey, Trump's not going to win, and this is not 5,000 each chess,
Exactly.
right? Like, it's not going to happen. But listen, MAGAs are going to come after you. That's fine. Let them come after you. Be a principled conservative. Be who you are. Stick true to your beliefs. If you believe in fiscal responsibility, you've got a friend in me. Okay, I'll be your Buzz Lightyear. If you want a party that just spends money on the shit you like, then go be a Trumplican, because that's what Trumplicans are. Yeah. And that's not something I can support. I'm not against Trump. I don't hate Trump. I don't think Trump was the worst president ever. I don't think Trump presidency was a complete waste. I think he could have done better. I think he shot himself in the foot way too often. But you know, we got some valuable time.
The first 2 years really defined his presidency in my mind, and
did
like he did better the last 2 years, but he had the House, he had the Senate, and nothing.
I understand the argument.
And
I understand the argument that the Dems were against him. I get it, and that's valid. But did the Dems hire Jim Mattis? Did the Dems hire Bolton? Did the Dems hire Kelly? Did they make him do these things? No, he did these things on his own. Like at some point, if the boss keeps hiring shit employees, don't let the boss hire any more people. Because if the boss can't hire people who should do, like, okay, was Barr good? Yes, Barr was great. Do I like Pompeo? I really like Pompeo. I think Pompeo was great as Secretary of State. But Rex Tillerson, no, that was a shit hire. Mattis, it's hard to criticize Mattis, right? But Mattis wasn't great as Secretary of Defense. He was great as a general, but that doesn't mean he's going to be great as a Secretary of Defense, right? It's a different job. It's not the same thing. Okay? Being a general is about this. Being Secretary of Defense is about this. Okay? Bolton. Bolton been a warmonger. Yeah! We knew that!
Yeah, that was evident coming in. So, all right, man. Let's call it for a night. There's lots more to lament, but there's only so much time in the world.
We had one last. So Psycho Speak, or Sicko Speak. I'm pronouncing this wrong. Rewinded. Refreshing to hear the protest was not patriotic. It wasn't. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna say it was. A riot is a riot. Left, right. It's a riot, and it's not right.
I'm glad that only one person died. I'm sad that one person died, but I'm glad it was only one.
Hey guys, and these people are gonna go to jail. And you know what I said when the left was going to jail? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Guess what I'm gonna say when people on the right go to jail? Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Yep.
All right, guys. So other than that, guys, keep your head up. We love you all. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Follow us down there on Twitter. If you want to, play the MAGA game, then have fun with it.
If you're a video editor or a videographer and you can tell Ross what to do to not look like a ghost,
I think I just need to adjust my lighting. I've got too much direct light. I need to have less direct light and more indirect light. For the green screen, it takes a lot of light. Because if you have shadows on the screen, then they show up because it's not green, it's black. And so then it pixelates that area or shows that area. You need a lot of light. You need to diffuse a lot of light, though, not direct light. Right now I have a lot of direct light. All right. Guys, thank you so much. Make sure you like whatever platform you're on. Hit the button, hit the notification bell. Like the Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter. Twitch. We stream on Twitch now. Wherever you want to go. Good night. God bless y'all.
Thanks and gig 'em. Gig 'em and God bless.
The Honorable, the Chief Justice, and the Associate Justices of the Supreme Court of the United States. Oh, yay, oh, yay, oh, yay. All persons having business before the Honorable, the Supreme Court of the United States are admonished to draw near and give their attention, for the court is now sitting.
I make the laws like I'm Congress, my bitch she flawless. Guess what I smoke by the whole zip, that shit is potent. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. I make the laws like I'm Congress, my bitch she flawless. Guess what I smoke by the whole zip, that shit is potent. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. They wanna know who the boss is, I'm still the culprit. These niggas hate it, they complaining, they calling culprit. Fuck what they saying and they thinking, that shit make no sense. I'm undebated and I'm going, I got bully pulpit. I said fuck school, Greta Thunberg. I make money typing words till my thumbs hurt. Yeah, she look cool, but I don't love her. And when I'm fucking, only time them hoes come first. I make the laws like I'm Congress, my bitch she flawless. Guess what I smoke by the whole zip, that shit is potent. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. They wanna know who the boss is, I am the culprit. I make the laws like I'm Congress, my bitch she flawless.